Hello everybody! Today we're going to do a magic trick to show and review about forces. So I have before me, I have a cup, a penny, and a playing card. And that's all you need in order to do this magic trick. So we're going to be talking about forces as I go through this magic trick. Alright, so the procedure is pretty simple. I'm just going to put my playing card on top of the cup and then put the penny on top of the playing card. So I noticed some things going on here that we've talked about before, and I want you to think about what forces do you see going on here. So right now the procedure is to just go ahead and put this, stack these on top, and then you're going to flick the playing card. And when you flick the playing card, you want to flick it right at the center, okay, and watch what happens. Okay, so did you notice what happened? So I want to go back and review this and look at this, and did you really think that magic and force went hand in hand? Well, in this magic trick it certainly does. So let's take a look at and write down our results. So the objects that we had here that we're going to be talking about are the card and the penny. So what force acted upon the card? Well, gravity. Gravity certainly acted upon it after my hand flicked the card. So there are two forces acting upon the card, gravity and my hand. So what acted upon the penny? Well, gravity and honestly a little bit of friction, because as the card moved across that penny, the friction from the card kind of slowed the penny down. So friction. All right, so we have our forces that acted upon the objects. So what was at rest? So think about what was at rest. So I noticed the cup didn't move, and it didn't move the entire experiment. It stayed, the force of gravity and the table made it stay constant. So it was a balanced force. So what was at rest? Well, the cup was at rest the entire experiment. So what else was at rest? Well, at the beginning, so I'm going to write at the beginning, the penny was at rest, and so was the card. Well, at the very end, after they hit the ground or the floor of the jar, and then the card hit the ground, again they were at rest. Okay, so what was in motion? Well, during the actual magic trick, the card was in motion, and so was the penny. Why didn't the penny move with the card? Because of friction. The friction slowed it down enough so that gravity would take over and pull that into the jar. So there's another force that we were talking about. So as we're thinking back to when the card was on top and the penny was on top of that, there was a balanced force with that penny. That penny wasn't going anywhere because the card was holding it up, even though gravity was pulling it down. So those two forces balanced each other out. So when I flipped that card, then I released energy. So we had potential energy with that penny, and I released that energy, and then it became kinetic energy as it was falling into the cup. But we're also talking about friction and gravity. So all of that comes together in this one magic trick. Now, on my webpage, I will have a copy of this lab for you to do. Now, this lab does not have to be handed in. It's a magic trick, but I want you to take a look at the questions if you do that lab and think about all the different things that we're kind of tying together that we've been learning about forces in motion. So you can call your family in and do a magic trick for them, and then explain the science behind it, because there is science behind this. So go ahead and explain the science to them. All right? So I want you to have fun with this magic trick, and I want you to remember to do the Generation Genius video and the questions with it. Again, on my webpage, the due date is on my webpage for you to submit that. So I want you to have fun with science. I want you to keep watching and keep learning.